Faithful, Niner Empire. What's good? You know who it is. It's your boy, Jay in the Bay. I think we're going to be saying, on Monday night against some good old LA Rams at Levi Stadium, we're going to be saying BLA, BLA, BLA. We got a special guest tonight. We have a LA Rams content creator. He is a fanatic of the LA Rams, reps them LA Rams proud, knows all the history of the LA Rams. He could talk about the Rams for days. I will definitely bring on my guest shortly, but huge shout out everyone watching Jay in the Bay Facebook, Jay in the Bay YouTube, Jay in the Bay Twitter. If you are watching on YouTube, this is an interactive show. Feel free to leave your thoughts in them comments, and we will definitely read those out. And both teams are the Rams are 2-1, the Niners are 1-2. Whoever wins this game will be at the top of the NFC West division. Well, I guess if the Niners win, we'll be tied at the NFC West number one seed. But I think it's been an interesting first quarter of the season. I don't think the Rams have hit their stride yet, and the Niners haven't either. But it's always going to be a great rivalry whenever the Niners and Rams play. So let's bring on our guest. He goes by the name of the Ramilia Sports Report. And I got to say, what's good? How you doing tonight, man?
What's up, Jay? How you doing, man? How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing real good. First, let me say congratulations on reaching that 1K subscriber mark on your YouTube channel, man.
Thank you.
I know that is a milestone that a lot of YouTubers, some don't get, and a lot of do get. But it's definitely a grind, and it's good to see you reach that achievement because I know you're passionate about your LA Rams. And it's always good to see a friend, achieve success, man. So
thank you, man. Thank you so much, Jay. I really appreciate you, man. There's a handful of Niner YouTubers like yourself and Niner Sickness and Wayne Breezy. I was on with him yesterday, nice. and CG, and great. It's a great community, and we hate our rival teams. Yeah, but we have love for our the content creators. And absolutely. I met you, and it's amazing because I didn't start out to have a channel. I started out because I was a Rams season ticket holder. I wanted to post videos, and I said that before. But meeting amazing people like yourself and CG and Wayne Breezy, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's been a amazing ride.
Absolutely, and I concur. We love our teams and we love playing each other. The fan bases don't like each other, but that's what makes the rivalry even better. Yeah. And when the guys are on the field, it's all competition. But after that, hey, we can talk about our teams and talk about what we did well and what we didn't. So, it's all good, man. It's all good. Glad to have you on tonight. I hope all is well. The LA Rams, they started off the season, they lost to the Buffalo Bills at home. Now you guys are on a 2-game winning streak. Do you feel the offense is at its peak right now, or do you feel it's a slow offensive start to the season for the Rams?
No. Okay. Well, here's my Totitos. I told you I went to the grocery store. And guess what I found for the game, one of the games, Rams nice. Tostitos. So get those out of the way. So, okay. So here we go. So the Rams are not anywhere near where they're going to be. No excuses, but it's true. We have an offensive line like you guys that have to gel together. Unfortunately, in the midst of trying to get them to gel together, we got injuries. But amazingly so, the right side now has beef. Remember that old lady? You're probably too young. Where's the beef? We now have it on the right side. We have Alaric Jackson, Bobby Evans, Coleman Shelton slid over to center. Okay. Guess what? This might be a silver lining for when Havenstein just went out. And then we're not sure if he's going to play. I think he's not going to play. But when we get Nobu back, we're going to not only have a better cohesive unit, they might sit back for a while. Because we started to run the ball now. So we'll get into all that. But our offensive line has seen a major shot in the arm right at the perfect time. So, but yeah, it's amazing how things can work out.
Okay. You mentioned the running game. Let's get into that. This Rams running game hasn't. I would say this. It hasn't hit its stride yet. It's only the fourth game so far when we play on Monday Night Football. But so far, you guys are at the bottom of the league in rushing yards per game. Do you think that'll change going up against this 49ers defense?
Well, I got to tell you, the Niners, as good as their defense is, right, and they are good, they got to play the Bears. Game one. Or no, who'd you guys play game one?
Bears. Chicago.
We got to play the Buffalo Bills, okay? And we have a new offensive line. And then you guys played a struggling Bronco team. And I don't know, but Russell Wilson aged 30 years before my eyes in that game. But he pulled out the victory.
He's on a new team, new system.
Yeah.
The head coach is a rookie. It's going to take some time for them to gel.
Yeah. But here's what's going on with us, Jay. So, okay. So we have a new offensive line. And again, there's no excuses when you put guys out and you wear that jersey and helmet, and we're representing the Super Bowl champions. You gotta ball out. So that being said, our offensive line gave up 7 sacks. One of them was I dropped the hike, and then they sacked him, so they got 7. But it's okay. But even in that game, Jay, I point this out to Bills fans. It was a sloppy game. They should have scheduled it maybe game 5 or game 6, because it would have been a better game. Who knows? We would have won, but it would have been a game. We got 3 turnovers in the first half. It was 10-10. Yeah. And then they finally got it going, and we couldn't get it going, and then they beat us. But our offensive line is better now than it was a couple weeks ago. Cam Akers started to take off. He was in the doghouse for a game or two because he missed a block, and so McVay put him in the doghouse. And so other than Cam Akers, Henderson's starting to pick it up. But with the offensive line issues, that's why our run game has been stagnant. But it started to pick up this last game. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. The 49ers, our run D I think it's been pretty good so far. Eric Armstead, our man in the middle, besides Javon Kinlaw, he's got a foot injury. He's been out since last week, and he didn't practice today. So it's not looking too well for him. But I thought we did play pretty well last week in the run game. We had Kevin Givens. We had Hassan Ridgeway. But the Rams, they want to run the ball. Can they do it? Obviously, it's going to be a battle of the trenches. But it'll be interesting to see, what comes about that. And, I think the 49ers, I think that's what their first job is to do, is to stop the run and make Stafford throw the ball. And speaking of Stafford, I didn't believe this stat when I saw it. I mean, he's got 5 interceptions to 4 touchdowns.
Okay. So we played the Bills. Von Miller was wanting to make a statement. I don't know what we were doing. He was out of his mind, but that's okay. Yeah. But not for the game 1 when we're trying to get a new left tackle.
Right.
But there's no excuses. But Stafford, he does turn the ball over when we don't have a running game, because he wants to fit it in there. But also, if you remember, and this is going to answer your other questions with Allen Robinson. Remember they were there. I don't know who was it. Maybe it was one of the teams wanted to trade for Jimmy G, when they're saying Trey Lance had arm fatigue and all this and that.
Yeah.
Well, Stafford had an injection in his elbow because he was banged up last year, and because we played so deep into the playoffs, he hasn't really rested too much. So we couldn't get that rapport with our receivers, with Allen Robinson, and so we don't play our starters in the preseason. So game 2, game 3, that's like our first couple of preseason games. Now, no excuses, but that's why the rapport is not there, because Allen Robinson is a top flight receiver. He just hasn't got on the same page with Stafford. So Stafford goes to who he knows, and that's Super Cup. And so we're expecting that to take off now with the offensive line starting to gel a little bit. Our center's been doing great. Coleman Shelton, breaking holes. Now we have Skronik. He was on my S list, and he's a fullback. He's like a poor man's Juice. but he's actually a wide receiver. I don't know if you saw that hit on J.J. Watt. He hit
No, I
J.J.
missed
Watt.
it, man. I missed it.
He hit. Okay, so he's on the corner, and he, he's a receiver. People think, okay, he's going to go out, right? Which he could still go out because he's a receiver, but he plays fullback. J.J. Watt's running in. Boom! Instead of chipping him, he knocked him to the ground. Then he went to the left corner, and Stafford hit him for about 5 or 6 yard pass. And we were saying, I was telling Wayne Breezy, is Bosa next? Is Bosa next? Because he didn't know it's coming. You're only human. If you get hit hard, you might go down. So we started to get our running game. We actually have a fullback now to help us with the running game. So he goes in there, blasts somebody. And then here comes Akers or Henderson around the corner, whichever you want to go. But also, he can act like he's going to block. Check this out. You know how Niner fans are saying, Shanahan, come up with some new plays. They're already on to you, right? McVay's into his bag already. He's throwing it, goes like he's going to block like he's been, and then goes out for a pass and runs a deep a passing route down the sidelines. So amazing that we're doing that. And it's nice because when we need to go to that in a tough game, when we get everything rolling and then somebody's starting to stop us, we have that to go harken back on. So it's amazing early season. It's a crazy early season. The Dolphins look like the greatest show on turf. So we'll see what happens.
Did you see that game tonight?
No, I was at work. Oh, he got hurt. That's why somebody said
hurt.
I saw somebody said rest in peace too. Is he okay?
Well, he had to get carted off on the stretcher.
No.
He had a concussion. So hopefully, he recovers and it's nothing long lasting. But that was it was tough to watch.
Concussion protocol.
It's tough to watch. And it's like 2 weeks in a row because last week they say it was a back spasm, but he looked like he was discombobulated. He didn't know where he was at on the field last week. So hopefully prayers to Tua, man. Hopefully he
man. I hate injuries. And God
he's
bless,
fun to watch too. He's fun to watch.
He's been playing great. And he sometimes boom, you wake up. Like we had Jared Goff and he looked like he was gonna, we got that showdown again in Kansas City and LA a couple years ago, 54-51 or something. We beat him in LA. We thought Jared Goff was gonna be the next big thing. And then all of a sudden, Cooper Kupp went down. Todd Gurley was an explosive self, and then it started going downhill. You never know with young quarterbacks. And maybe this guy, like Josh Allen, he looked like he was garbage in the beginning. He looked like he was going to get it, and then all of a sudden, boom. We'll see what happens.
It takes time for guys to develop. It's rare that you see a rookie in the NFL, especially at the quarterback position, like the first year. Unless Cam Newton had a great year, RG3 had a great year, but it's pretty rare. And that's something that, obviously we have with Trey Lance here and 49er fans. Hey, some want Jimmy G, some want Trey Lance. And, whatever he does, if it's an incomplete pass, if he's not accurate, this guy's a bust. But you have to give, quarterbacks time to develop, especially with Trey Lance. Next year, he's only played when next year comes around, he'll have only played 11 college games and maybe like 5 pro games. So you got to give this guy time to develop. And it's a shame that he got hurt as well. He's out for the rest of the year. That's a shame because he definitely needed this year to develop. He needed those snaps. He needed that experience. And now it's basically been taken from him. So that's a shame.
I was gonna ask you about that, Jay.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. So I know we're optimistic with Trey Lance. He's a young guy. He can still recover from it. It's not a knee injury. Thank God it's not a knee injury. An ankle, you can come back from that. But is he injury prone? This is like the 4th time that he's got hurt in 1 year in limited play. The first year, it's like 4 injuries now. There's always meanwhile, Matthew Stafford is an older dude, and pretty much you can pencil him to play, even if he's banged up.
Yeah.
And Trey Lance is the kind of guy that needs his mobility. If he doesn't have mobility, he's a dead duck because his accuracy is not there yet. Is that a red flag for you guys? Going all in year 3 now, because Kyle wasted the first year. If some of it was because he got injured, and then now he got hurt. Year 3, all that, we can keep our guys and not have to pay our quarterback. Well, now you're in year 3. You basically only have like 1 more year that you have to either keep him or sign him or do whatever. What if Jimmy G takes you guys far in the playoffs? That's a good problem, but
Right.
Would you guys be like us? We had to play two quarterbacks, Jared Goff and Matthew Stafford, when we won the
Well,
Super Bowl.
well, I don't think the first year we should have played Trey. I know there were some fans who wanted to play Trey his rookie season, and I was in the camp of I wanted Jimmy G to play because I didn't think Trey Lance was ready. And I
Yeah.
felt like Jimmy G, had, I think he gave us the best opportunity. And hell, we were, hey, fourth quarter NFC Championship game versus your Rams. One play goes our way, we could have been in the Super Bowl. So, and this year it changed for me because I saw Jimmy G and he's a limited quarterback.
Yeah.
Basically, Shanahan takes the ball out of his hands in key moments. He'd rather run the ball or Jimmy you got to rise to the occasion, kind of like Russell Wilson did last week. He needed one drive, maybe two drives. He was able to do it, whatever it took, he got it done. Jimmy's just not that guy. So I was willing to put my faith in Trey and get behind Trey to be a starter this year. Now, in regards to your question of is he injury prone, I think that's a fair question. I think it's a little too early to tell. I mean, everyone gets hurt in football. Look at the LA Chargers, one of the most talented teams. They can never get it right. There's always guys hurt. It just sucks for Trey because he is mobile. He's going to take some hits, but he does slide. He did slide. But in the play that he got hurt, this game against Seattle, it was an option read play. He could have given the ball to the running back. He chose to keep it and run up the middle. And hey, things happen. This is football. But I think we still stay the course with Trey next year. I don't think Jimmy G will be on this roster. I've said that quite a few times.
I was going to say, that's what they've been saying. Yep, I was going to say that.
Hey, if Jimmy wins, if Jimmy and the Niners go to the Super Bowl, we win it this year, then, I would love to say, oh, no, Jimmy, he'll be like Nick Foles, right? Foles won the chip. I think they kept him the next year. They went to the playoffs, and then he ended up signing with a different team the next year. That'd be a great problem to have. Jimmy wins the Super Bowl, right?
I gotta tell you, Jay.
Yeah.
If I were you, I'd be so frustrated, man. Because look, forget that I'm a Ram fan. I'm not telling you as
Quest for six.
I'm just telling you. You got and my Ram fans and stuff. And if you guys see the replay, a lot of my my subscribers from Satan fans, my fellow Ram fans and my subscribers, I like to watch the replays, but because they're doing stuff, I say, just watch the replay. But make sure you hit the like. You guys have this crew: Debo, Ayuk, Kittle. You got CG Gray. He's hurt now. If you guys had a big time quarterback, you wouldn't have to run. You guys basically run the Bears offense with Jim McMahon from 1985. I mean, basically, you guys are ground chuck. Yeah. That would be so frustrating because as a Niner fan, you want to win, but you want to have some excitement, some sexy excitement. Yeah. Why does it always have to be Debo and a pile of smoke?
The horizontal game.
Yeah. I mean, you guys have those guys right now, and next year, this and both sides, us and you guys too, there's going to be hard decisions that you're going to have to make. You're going to lose probably Al-Shire. Because his contract is
he's
up.
hurt now too. So
Jimmy Ward. Luckily, you guys have Ken Law and the other guys. But we have both hard decisions, and you only have like a 3-year window when you have guys. We're always losing guys, but man, I'm just saying. I'm just looking at it from afar and forgetting that you guys are the Niners. I'm so glad that you guys did get Stafford, man. Like I told you guys before, if you guys would have got Stafford, I'd be having cold. Forget that he throws picks. He does. But if he has that dark look in his eye, the Tom Brady soul-stealing look in his eye, he will beat you. I mean, last year, when he gets that look in his eye, I mean, you saw those pinpoint passes of Cooper Kupp at the end of the game. I mean, he does throw picks. He's a gunslinger. But this guy, that's a reason why him and Tom Brady are the two top-notch fourth-quarter comeback kings in the NFL right now as we speak. But if you guys would have got, imagine Ayuk and Debo and CJ Gray with Stafford, and then with that running game. I mean, goodness gracious. So I'm glad. I right now with Trey Lance there, even if he was healthy, I sleep like a baby. I would have a cold sweat and be pissed off if you guys had Stafford and we still had golf. So. But anyway, I had to get you on that because you guys have a loaded roster.
honestly, Stafford doesn't scare me. I know he's
well. You guys know, but see, against you guys, you haven't seen that yet. You haven't seen him play a full game where he's doing what he has to do.
I know he's going to throw interceptions. Like I think Stafford, he's good. But he's, I don't think he's Tom Brady. He's not Aaron Rodgers. I don't think he's that. Is he a top 10 quarterback? Yeah, I'll give you that. But
well, so here's the thing. Niner fans feel that way because he hasn't played you guys the way he does other teams. Other teams fear.
I think it's our defense. We got one of the best defenses in the NFL.
You guys have a good defense, but so do other teams too. Like Tom Brady was watching us. Ask him about Stafford. Stafford owns Tom Brady, head to head. So for some reason, it just happens to be that you haven't seen that Stafford. That's why, I'm not worried about him. But we play each other in the regular season, but unless we play each other in the championship game, we might not face you guys again or you might not face us again if you guys get far. The other teams are worried about Stafford because he doesn't throw those picks against them. Yeah. He asked Tom Brady, he thought he was going to come back against us, and he stilled them last year and basically retired him. And so, we'll see what happens. But that's why you guys feel that way, because he does give you guys picks. Jimmy Ward's standing there picking his nose, and the ball goes off Higby's hands right into his hands, and he gets a pick six. So anyway, but go ahead, Jay. I'm sorry.
No worries. And in regards to you mentioned the offense. It's definitely frustrating. To have a horizontal offense. Jimmy G does not want to throw the ball deep. There were several plays in last week's game where there were wide open guys down the field, and he doesn't even look. He would rather go for the check down. And it could be because this offensive line, we're now without the big silver back in Trent Williams. He's got a high ankle sprain. He's going to be out, anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks. That could be the reason why, I think the best way to upset a quarterback who's not mobile is to get him off his spot, get him uncomfortable in the pocket. And that's what Denver was able to do last week against Jimmy. I mean, he had one of his worst games I had ever seen. You just got to play a little bit better. Just don't turn the ball over.
I couldn't watch it. I was trying to watch it. I was like,
it was boring. It was boring.
I was like, and my guy Russell Wilson, the Seahawks are like, thank God we got rid of him. I was like, Russ, are you? Hello, Russ. There was one play where he rolled out, and the guy's wide open right there for a first down. There's nobody in front of him, and he turfed it. Yeah, like is he washed? But I know they're getting used to it. He just
I don't think he's washed. He just hasn't gotten his groove yet.
Yeah,
and I just go back to Jimmy real quick. It sucks because we drafted Danny Gray out of the third round this year, a speedster, and Shanahan either. He's an offensive genius. That's what we like to say around here. But you got to use your talent. Yeah. Danny Gray is talented. Jimmy might not be able to throw the ball deep to him, but maybe do some screens, some end around, some quick slants. Danny Gray may not be able to run the entire route tree, but you have to use him, and he can't be a decoy. Like I don't want to see that. We got to get the ball into the hands of guys who can make plays. And that's what's frustrating to me.
Well, let us trade Tutu Atwell to you guys for
CJ. I hear he's not doing so well either.
He looks so good, Jay. He looked so good in camp. I was like, okay, we got Deshaun Jackson Jr. over here, right? He even caught a deep pass against the Bengals in the workout before Aaron Donald went upside their head with the Bengals helmet. Yeah. And I was like, okay, this is a different Tutu. He was a little yoked out too. He got a little buff in the offseason. And there he goes. Some you have to want it. You can have all the talent in the world. You have to want it. Yep. And but we'll see what happens, man. But yeah, tell me about receivers that you sign and you have high expectations. Allen Robinson, can you hear me?
Right. No, I hear you. I gotta say, huge shout out to SG Sports Talk channel, Payo Time, another LA Rams content creator. We got Jesus in the building. What's good? Jesus says, what do you think the offensive game plan versus the Rams will be? Well, from the 49ers, I think it's quite simple. We're just going to try to run the ball and limit Aaron Donald. Now, I know Daniel Brunskill, a.k.a. the Aaron Donald stopper, he's been out this whole pretty much preseason, and he's been out the first 3 games of the year due to a hamstring injury. Now, Daniel Brunskill did practice today, but it was in a limited basis. I would be surprised if he played. But, I think we Shanahan knows how to
play against Aaron Donald and the Rams to make him not as effective. Like, obviously, we know Aaron Donald's a Hall of Fame player, generational defensive talent, but he usually doesn't play like that versus the 49ers. But we gotta run the ball, work off play action, and Jimmy just has to play better. Just, try not to turn the ball over, get the ball to the open receiver, and continue to move the ball downfield. Last week, we were only 1 of 9 on third down conversions. That's just not going to get it done. That's not. So we got to be much better in that area. But I appreciate the question, though, Jesus. Solo says it's a slow start for both offenses. I agree with that. And it'll be interesting to see which offense plays their best game on Monday night. Because honestly, I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. What do you think? You think it'll be a low-scoring game or a high-scoring game Monday night?
How's the weather going to be in Santa Clara?
I haven't looked.
It's a night game.
It's a night game.
It's hot though, so in Southern California, so you guys shouldn't be too much different.
I think it's going to be cool, but I'll double check and see. I'm just glad it's not raining because I don't want to see any raining games like Chicago.
Back in the day when we had Jim Everett and Flipper Anderson and Henry Allard and Eric Dickerson before that at running back, the Niners used to water Candlestick Park like crazy. They used to put a soggy field so our guys can't get off. And then they wonder, God bless Ronnie Lott, he's a Hall of Famer, but we were wondering, why does Ronnie Lott can stay with Flipper Anderson and knock a ball out of the air when Flipper Anderson runs a 4.2, a 4.3, 8, and Ronnie Lott's not fleet of foot. As great as he is, as great as you are, you can't all of a sudden get fast. But
he's
I remember those games.
Field, just not in the 40 time, man.
I was like, it's sunny. Why is there mud flipping up? Right? So.
That was by accident. Yeah. But speaking of the weather, though, in Santa Clara, it's going to be 77 degrees. That sounds like perfect football weather. No rain in sight. So, hey, I'm excited for that.
So that question, I'll say it like this. If we can run the ball with the way McVay has put Tronic as a fullback, that will take the pressure off of Stafford. And he's made comments about he doesn't like how he's turned the ball over. He needs to be more ball aware. This last game he didn't throw any interceptions, but he didn't throw any touchdowns. We were close a couple times. We could have blew them out, but we didn't. We're kind of getting the offense rolling now, so maybe we're due to have a offensive showing. I don't know. It depends if Allen Robinson can get in the picture. We just got Kendall Blanton back, the tight end that we had last year in the Super Bowl, an NFC Championship game. He played good against you guys. Lance McCutcheon has not been unfurled, the 6'3" undrafted phenom in the preseason. Lance McCutcheon. So we have some stuff waiting in the wings when we get everything together. And then in November, word on the street is we're looking at Robert Quinn to take over like Vaughn did, and OBJ back in the fold.
He's still with Chicago, right, Robert?
Yeah. So we pretty much think they'll have a fire sale right around that time, and then we'll say, Robert Quinn, can you hear me? And then maybe we'll give him Von Miller's number. We'll see what happens. But Les Snead is always looking to improve the team.
Yeah.
So that's what's great. That's the ace in our pocket right now. Like people say, oh, we're gonna beat you. Okay, hopefully if you do, God bless you. But this is not the team that you're gonna be worried about. This team, same thing with you guys. You got to put the W's on the board, but these teams now are not the teams that are going to be week 10, 11, 12, 13. So we just have to tread water. And luckily we're in the NFC West, so we can get healthy. God bless the Seahawks, and God bless Kyler Murray not doing his homework. We can stay healthy. We can get healthy and put some W's on the board while we get ourselves together. So, but I think it might be a slugfest. There's stars on both sides of the field. That's why it's a great game. And but I got to tell you, Stafford is due. There's no Jimmy Ward.
He's due. There's no interception.
There's no Jimmy Ward to be a thorn in our side.
I know that's what sucks. Jimmy Ward's going to be out. Yeah.
And Trent Williams is gone.
Yep.
So Brock Purdy better be ready to get off of that bench and pull a Kurt Warner.
It's going to be the Jimmy G show all season unless he gets hurt. But speaking of injuries, this is our injury list so far. And a few of these guys, they're going to be out multiple weeks. You mentioned earlier Aziz. He's got the knee injury. It's an MCL sprain. So he's going to be out multiple weeks. Armstead, we'll see what happens. He didn't practice today. TDP, our third round rookie that we selected this year, he suffered a high ankle sprain as well. He's going to be out multiple weeks. Ross Dwelly, tight end, day to day. He had a touchdown catch in the Seattle game. Danny Gray, I was surprised to see him on here. I didn't even know when he got hurt with the hip injury.
I saw a hip too. I'm like, dang, is that going to be a long injury for you guys?
You need him. Hopefully not. We'll see what happens tomorrow if he can at least be a limited participant. But honestly, he hasn't really been a factor in this on this offense, and that's very, very frustrating. Because I think he can contribute. Shanahan just has to get him the ball, and well, I should say he has to develop the play, and Jimmy G has to give him the ball. But hopefully he can have an increasing role in the offense as the year goes on.
So you guys are going to be. I'm sorry, Jay. I'm looking at it before you put it away. You guys are going to be without Al Shire, without Ken Law. Is he going to play, or is he a game time?
Ken Law played last week. And I didn't see when he got hurt during the game, but we'll see what happens tomorrow. But Armstead, it doesn't seem like it. He missed last week. He did warm up before the game, but he tested out that foot, but it wasn't good to go. So he didn't practice today, so that's not a good sign. But we'll most likely be without Aziz, TDP, Tyler Croft, and Trent Williams. Those are the four. There's no way they're playing. Now, the other guys are basically day to day. We'll see if they're a full participant in practice, tomorrow. But yeah, I mean that's a big list, and that doesn't complete the list. This guy right here, the Aaron Donald stopper, Daniel Brunskill. I got to get this guy's jersey, man.
That's the look on his face after Aaron Donald ragdolled him and ended the NFC Championship game. That's why I got this shirt on right here.
Hopefully he'll have Aaron Donald throwing his helmet like he did a few years ago.
well, Greg Gaines, we're gonna have to make a decision on him. His contract up. Aaron Donald take turns going against Brunskill, but people are sleeping on this part because we haven't played good. Bobby Wagner, and I was looking at the stats. Remember, I think I sent it to you how Bobby Wagner was still ranked higher than Warner, your linebacker.
That was before the start of this year. Yeah.
Bobby Wagner has 2 sacks. Warner has 0. And they're saying he's washed, and he's got 2 sacks. So Bobby Wagner working behind Aaron Donald, and then behind him, Jalen Ramsey looks like prime Jalen Ramsey again. He looks like he's healthy again. Unfortunately, like you guys, we have injuries. We lost Troy Hill, who was supposed to be on the other side of Jalen Ramsey. Jacoby Durant got his first interception, the rookie. And then Darian Kendrick, the guy that Primetime loves, Deion Sanders, was playing great, but he's in concussion protocol. Okay. So as we go on, both of our teams start getting the walking wounded back. Yeah. We're going to be an amazing team, but it's going to be a war, man. I'm looking for it to be a war, and that's good for our teams to do that. And but we're due against you guys. Stafford's due against you guys. If all these guys are hurt, he should be able to. Well, I shouldn't say that because Allen Robinson's missing. Van Jefferson's not there either. Basically, Higbee's the second leading receiver besides Kupp. Jay, Higbee. God bless him. He's good, but we should have Van Jefferson out there, and Allen Robinson should be before Higbee. But if we had normal times, you guys had those guys out, and we had another weapon besides Higbee. We'll see. It's interesting to see what's going to happen because of the injuries on both sides. Yep. It's going to be an interesting game and also whoever loses. If we were to lose, that would suck because we lost against you guys. But we're both in the run. We're in the running. Even if you guys lost, it puts you guys a little bit more in a hole. But you're in the NFC West, so basically it's going to be us two anyway. But it's early, man. So I'm just looking for a good game. I hope none of us get hurt again. And I was kidding about Brock Purdy. I was just saying, but maybe he'll have to come in for a little while because Jimmy might get hit a lot in this game, unless he gets the ball out. That's what he's good about, getting the ball out quick sometimes.
Yeah, he's got to get rid of the ball quick, and especially with the Rams' defensive line going up against our offensive line. And we did a show earlier this year, and I told you, hey, man, the three guys in the middle don't have much experience. I would say as a whole, they've been playing pretty well. I don't think they've allowed a sack this year.
Wow.
So that's pretty good. Granted, we've only played Chicago, Seattle, but Denver's good. Denver's good. The issue with Denver was their ends were able to get pressure on Jimmy. The interior of the offensive line did well. So obviously, at left tackle, Trent won't be there. So we're looking at
that's a big loss, man. That's a big loss.
Yeah.
Besides how good he is, he's a leader on the field too.
Yeah.
He gets you guys going. So we'll see who can replace that.
I don't think Trent Williams has played the last. I think he did not play the NFC Championship game, or was it
he played, but he was hurt. He was
limited.
He was limited.
Yeah.
So he was limited.
And then he didn't play the last game of the season last year against you guys.
Yeah.
And we had Colton McKivitz, and he's solid, but obviously he's not no Trent Williams. So.
And he's 34 years old though too, and he's starting to break down with injuries. Trent Williams, hopefully he'll be able to suck it up. Forget that you guys are the Niners, because I hate the Niners. I hate the Niners. But it would be nice that he would get a ring with you guys before he retires.
Absolutely.
And because that's the same thing we did for Big Wit and Robert Woods. Besides you guys wanting 6, but it would be nice for guys like that worked hard all their career and they're one of the best players. That's why I was glad that we were able to get a ring for Big Wit and Robert Woods. That would be nice for him to do that. But he's up there in age, 34 for an offensive lineman. But he can still go because he's a beast. But the injuries start breaking you down. After a while, you're like, well, what am I rehabbing for again, right?
I mean, the injury to Trent, it was a freak accident. I mean, it wasn't. He got clipped. His own offensive lineman. His left guard clipped him. So it was kind of a freak accident. But it sucks having a high ankle sprain, especially at his age and his. He's a big man. We'll see. His diagnosis is 4 to 6 weeks, and we'll see. How soon he can come back. But left tackle, you got. McKivitz, left guard, you got Burford, who's been. I
like Burford.
Sorry, left guard. You got Aaron Banks. I'm sorry.
Okay, Aaron Banks. I like Burford though. I think he has good potential. Yeah.
And then center, you got Brindle. He hasn't been playing really well, but honestly, I think when Brunskill comes back, most likely he'll be back at center. And then at right tackle, you got McGlinchey. So, I mean, I think the game plan is you got to get rid of the ball quick because you guys still got Leonard Floyd, right?
Yep. Yeah. Well, technically, he hasn't got a sack yet.
Oh wow!
But he's been in there. He's been doing hurry up. He's been rushing the passer. What's the word? He's been making the passer hurry up. Hurries. Yeah. There you go. But Bobby Wagner and Ernest Jones though. People are sleeping on them right now because we didn't look good on offense. They run downhill. Ernest Jones is still young. Bobby Wagner's not prime Bobby Wagner, but he's still one of the better linebackers in the league. That's a big thing as we get closer towards the playoffs run or to position ourselves for the record home field advantage. They're going to get better with our secondary too, but that's a ways off. But he's been a big help with our defense. I can see it coming. I just wish we could have played the Bills, man, later because I wanted to test them. I wanted to see how good they are. But the game one didn't tell me nothing. Game one told me that we could play sloppy and still stick with them for a half. You know what I mean? It was 10-10 and 3 turnovers. But we'll see what happens.
How do you think the Rams are going to handle, George Kittle?
I love George Kittle. Well, let me say this. If the Rams are able to get in at Jimmy, if he can't get the ball away or they're knocking balls down, if I was Raheem Morris, I'd say get in the passing lanes. He's going to try to get rid of the ball quick. Not just knock it down.
Yeah.
Just knock it down. Put your hands up. But if we're able to get in there, they're going to have to keep Kittle back to chip our guys, and that takes him out of there.
And that's the annoying part because I feel like Kittle could be like Kelsey, but we don't unfortunately use him like that.
Why don't they use Juice to chip somebody and let Kittle go out?
They do at times, or even maybe line up Juice at tight end and maybe let Kittle be a wide out, or let him be on the opposite side and run a route. Yeah, they should do that. And we use Juice in the passing game.
Yeah, I mean he's a stocky guy. He can
do it.
Kittle's too important, and Jimmy likes to throw to Kittle. That's why when people say, "Oh, Kyle Shanahan's a genius," well, his scripted plays are beautiful. His scripted plays are beautiful. When he has to go off script, that's when he starts going off the rails towards the end of the game sometimes. But he is a great offensive mind. But like that right there, why can't that's just off the top of my head? Have Juice chip somebody. He's too valuable a weapon. Get his butt out there and catch the third down passes or whatever, But the other thing too is, like I've been saying, same thing with my guy McVay. I love McVay, but when we had those issues with OBJ going down, I was like, why don't we use Brandon Powell, the kick returner, and the offense? Guess what? He's in the offense. He has 2 catches. He has more catches than Allen Robinson in the offense. So amazing that McVay's going into his bag early. Shanahan needs to do that too. And but yeah, you guys are loaded, man. It's just amazing that the media is not on Kyle Shanahan. The media gives him a pass, man. I know you guys have injuries and stuff, but what does it take for the Niners to win, right? I mean, how loaded does a roster have to be? And it's his own mistake with the quarterback situation. They passed on Tom Brady. They didn't even look at Mahomes coming out of the draft.
A lot of
teams passed on Matthew Stafford. A lot of teams did, but he's the guy with the 500 record, less than 500 record going into year 6.
Yeah, but now, a lot goes into that. I mean, the first year he was hired, this team was in shambles.
Lynch
and Shanahan, they totally redid this roster. I think Jimmy Ward is the longest tenured 49er. Everyone else on this team has either been a free agent, signed by this team or a drafted player. A lot of people talk about his record, and you like Parcells says, you are what your record is, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there's context to that, and whenever your starting quarterback is injured for, Jimmy's been here his 5th year, he's been injured half of the time. I mean, you can only win so many games with your backup quarterback, especially when it's Nick Mullins and CJ Beathard. So that's why we went after Trey Lance. So I totally get it. You are what your record is, but
like the championship game, Jay.
Yeah.
Okay. All those Niner fans that were at SoFi Stadium, right? A lot of them live in Los Angeles already. They just go right across the street. So you have Trey Lance. You're playing your guy McVay.
Yeah.
Why not go into your bag and have a double quarterback set with Trey Lance in the backfield? Why not have some plays to try to get the ground and then pull those out when you need it? Yeah. If he was such a genius, why do you not go into your bag with Trey Lance? At least line him up, and the Rams defense will be looking around like, we haven't seen that before. I don't understand that, right?
That's
so I'm glad that he did it. God bless him. I'm glad that he did it. But you have this young kid who he can get 3-4. When you guys kept getting stopped on third down and use Debo as a decoy, use that triple option with Debo.
I think Shanahan's moniker of being a genius, I think it's definitely in question right now. I think he's a great play designer. Like he'll always scheme guys open, right? But as far as the actual play calling is questionable. That is a great point. They could have brought in Trey Lance to confuse the Rams defense, to not know what's coming next. I wish I could ask Kyle Shanahan that, but we'll never know. Maybe I guess he was more comfortable with Jimmy G for whatever reason. But like I said, he's a great designer of plays. He can get guys open. But you could call the perfect play, but if McGlinchey allows his edge rusher to cross his face and get to the quarterback, then that perfect play you called is blown up. So everyone has to do their part. Everyone's got to do their job.
Jimmy's missing open plays. I see that. He does like golf used to do. Guys are running right open, and especially in the Super Bowl against Tom Brady, he was late to Cooks twice in the end zone, and we could have won that Super Bowl. That's just what happens. But yeah, it sucks that injuries. Your starting quarterback needed to get the reps this year. And but yeah, I was wondering, was Trey Lance hurt? Why not a couple of plays? And the Niners at the stadium would have been ruckusly loud,
Oh,
and but God bless him that he didn't do that.
But yeah, I mean, hey, I think that would have been a good idea to do that, but at this point, it's all water under the bridge, and hey, it's the Jimmy G show. But this is part of the reason why some fans wanted to move on from Jimmy G, because he's limited, because he's not a vertical threat down the field with throwing the ball. So those are some of the reasons why. But I gotta say, appreciate everyone in the chat. Feel free to hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't. If you're enjoying what you're hearing from the Ramilia Sports Report to my right, make sure you check him out on social media. I got his IG, his YouTube link in the description of this video. Make sure you check him out, show some support. And huge shout out to G12 in the chat. We have Solo, Wavy, John, Edward, we got Rhino. What's good? Appreciate you guys all in the chat. And of course, we have Tommy Huxley in the building as well. Edward offers us his prediction for the game. He says, hey, Jay and Ramilia, 49ers definitely injured versus Rams. Expect close game. 49ers win barely, 23-20. I think it's definitely going to be under a total of 40 points. That's for sure. But we will see. Something I wanted to ask you, is there who do you think could be an offensive impact player? You might have already mentioned them, but someone who's not a household name. So someone that the average 49er fan doesn't know about. Who should we watch out for from a Rams perspective?
I'm going to give you two. One of them's a dark horse.
Okay.
I talk about Ben Tronic. He's out of Notre Dame. He's a wide receiver. Okay. He was on my S list. 49er fans will remember him as, besides the tart drop in the championship game, he was the Ram wide receiver, number 18, that was running free in the end zone with his hands up, and the ball hit him bounced off his hands, and he dropped it. That was a touchdown. He's that guy.
Okay.
And then if you refer to the Super Bowl, when OBJ went down, he was the guy that cut across. Again, the ball bounced off his hands, but this time it was intercepted. He was on my S list. He could have cost us both those games. Now, and he's been not very good on offense, but he's a great special teams guy. Now McVay has put him in as a fullback, and he can still catch out of the backfield, and he's blasting people, breaking holes for our guys now. And then the other guy is Lance McCutcheon, the undrafted 6'3" wide receiver that we haven't unfurled yet. So those two, I'm looking forward to seeing if Lance McCutcheon gets a chance this game.
Hey,
those are my two.
Those are your two. How about on the defensive side?
On the defensive side, it's not a star. Darian Kendrick. Darian Kendrick
corner, right?
Yeah, the young corner, the guy that primetime Deion Sanders loves. He calls him a dog. He patterns his game after Jalen Ramsey. He was a ball hawk last game. The other guy I would say too would be Jacoby Durant. He got his first interception, and he's another young guy, but he got hurt, so he's not going to play. But yeah, those I would say Darian Kendrick is a guy to look at.
Okay, all right. Hey, looking forward to those matchups. And
can I answer a question real quick, Jay? I'm sorry.
Yeah, absolutely.
My guy Tyler says, Ramilia, my question is, do you seriously believe Jalen Ramsey is the number one corner? Yes, I do. Name me 3 corners that are better than him. Yes, I do. No corner is perfect. There's no Deion Sanders anymore.
Yeah.
But Jalen Ramsey, if you look at last game's highlights, he looks to be healthy, and he ended the Falcons' hopes of getting that pick. But yeah, he's definitely a top 3, top 5 cornerback in the league still. Yep.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would agree with that. And speaking of the secondary, that was one issue or one area of the team last year where the 49ers could definitely use an upgrade. I mean, we were starting Josh Norman. We were starting Dre Kirkpatrick at times last year in the season. And this offseason, we made it a priority to pick up, a top-notch corner in Charvarius Ward. He likes to be called Mooney. And, hey, he's been playing pretty well so far. So I don't think he won't follow a receiver to the slot. Like if Cooper Kupp goes into the slot, Charvarius Ward probably won't be on him, or Emmanuel Mosley. But we do have Samuel Womack, and we also have Demo Lenore. Those are 2 young guys who are up and comers. But it'll be interesting to see how we guard Cooper Kupp, because I don't think it's a good idea to put one of those two young guys on him, and we know Cooper Kupp loves to be in the slot. Will he line up outside like a Z or X receiver, or is he only slot like 100%?
And Niner fans going to get a little testy about this comment, but I'm going to just say it like this.
It don't matter.
Because it's true. This is a true comment. So remember how they used to move Jerry Rice around in the slot, move him all around. Now we're not comparing. They're two different players, two different eras, two different coaches. Yeah. McVay moves Cooper Kupp around. So he'll be on a linebacker one time, he'll be outside, he'll be inside, he'll be outside, he'll be doing an end around, he'll be doing a jet sweep. There's almost no way to stop him, just like Jerry Rice. If you give him an inch, he'll catch it in traffic and he'll be gone. But it's hard that's why it's so hard to catch it to stop him, because McVay moves him around. So he'll line up all over the place. And that's one thing that McVay's strength is, just like Kyle Shanahan's strength is the run game, the scheming run game, because you guys have the personnel to do it. McVay is a master at getting Cooper Kupp off on different players, whether it's you guys as linebackers, because they can't follow him all the way through, or it's maybe your second or third cornerback. He's a master at scheming that.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be really. I'm eager to see the matchup between Cooper Kupp against Mooney Ward. He is our best corner, highest paid corner on the team, and he's definitely lived up to the billing. So
I like Verrett too. You guys don't have Verrett.
And Verrett, he's still on the roster, but he's hurt. He had a torn ACL the first game last year, so he's on the.
He's okay.
So
he's still rehabbing.
He could come back next week, or at least I think I should say his practice window will be open, because he's got to miss the first 4 weeks. His practice window could be open. But yeah, Verrett's good too.
I like Every Thomas too. They're pretty good. Jay, put on, if you don't mind, Niner Sickness real quick. I got to get him real quick.
Okay.
On the bottom comment.
Oh, okay.
He loves when I do this.
I mean, Jerry,
my Niner sickness, my Niner carnal. We can't compare Cooper Kupp to Jerry Rice, because we have to remember that Cooper Kupp won his Triple Crown in one season, and it took Jerry Rice 2 seasons to get the Triple Crown. So we can't compare them. So there you go. And those are just facts.
I mean, it'd be like comparing, Lawrence Taylor, the great edge rusher for the Giants, to like Micah Parsons. Like, you can't tug on Superman's cape. Like, let's be real. But Cooper Kupp, he had a great year, no doubt. But come on.
Well, he had the great. Let's not mistake nothing. He had the greatest, including Jay Rice, any of the season. You can take it at your pick. He had the greatest season of any wide receiver in NFL history, and topped it off with the Super Bowl MVP.
It also helps that the Rams play, or I should say the entire league now plays 17 games. Yeah, that helps.
Well, we can even take that one out. but I'm just saying, he had the greatest season a wide receivers had in NFL history, and then topped it off with the Super Bowl MVP. And also he caught the no-look pass, the legendary no-look pass from Glock 9. I don't think Jerry Rice ever caught a no-look pass from Joe Montana in the Super Bowl. Show me that tape.
Well, once Cooper Kupp has what 3 Super Bowls, then maybe he can.
Well, we're still working on it. We're working on 2 right now. We're working on 2.
Man. Hey, I got nothing but respect for Cooper Kupp. He is a great wide receiver, and I'm looking forward to the matchup. Though I want to see Ward versus Cooper Kupp.
But God bless Jerry Rice, the only wide receiver in NFL history too that doesn't get known, to go from one Hall of Fame quarterback to another Hall of Fame quarterback, and then play with Gannon in his best season.
Right.
So what wide receiver ever had that? Imagine Jerry Rice was drafted by the Bengals or the Browns. Yeah, exactly. So he got to show up, and he was in the Bill Walsh era. He did what he did, though. You can't take it away from him. But what other wide receiver in NFL history went from one Hall of Famer to another Hall of Famer in the middle of their dynasty? No one, only Jerry Rice. And also, by the way, may I tell you this, Jerry Rice's best season ever, Isaac Bruce was only 80 yards away from that pace with Tony Banks as his quarterback. There you go. And that's the same season.
Isaac Bruce is another Hall of Fame receiver.
Who would you rather catch the ball from? Tony Banks or Steve Young or Joe Montana?
You already
there
know.
You go. Okay.
Hey, give me 3 keys to victory for the LA Rams. What could you see the Rams being more successful at than the Niners on Monday night?
Okay, so we got to limit the run game. Teams have we kind of give teams the blueprint how to limit Debo. The last game in the championship game, you don't stop Debo, but you have to limit him where you might go somewhere else. We have to limit the run game. We have to get you guys off the field after third down. Otherwise, you guys are gonna run the clock out and keep us off the field. Our defense will get tired, and we have to make you pay for your mistakes. If we turn the ball over, we got to score touchdowns. Also, Stafford has to limit his interceptions, and we just have to score. If we can score and get Jimmy behind, he's going to be one-dimensional. He can't hand the ball off no more, and it's going to be like the end of the championship game. We're just going to pin our ears back and go after them. And so, because they have to throw. So if we can limit the Niners' run, if we can make them pay for any mistakes, and also get the ball in the end zone, we should be okay. But we're due too. We're due this year to have a good offensive game all the way through. You guys have a great defense, but if Jimmy struggles, the defense could get tired. And you guys are missing a lot of players too. So we'll see what happens. But I think the keys are we got to limit your run. We got to score touchdowns, and we have to take advantage of any mistakes you guys make and not make mistakes yourself.
I heard a stupendous stat earlier that the 49ers have allowed less points through 3 games than the 85 Bears. Can you believe that?
That's amazing.
That's incredible.
That's amazing.
Now, granted, we ain't played nobody.
I was just gonna say that. But
you can only play who's on your schedule, Rudy.
Yeah, that's true. I was just gonna say that. I was like, well, you told me that. I go, oh, wait a minute. They just
but I think this defense is the best.
No, you guys always have a good defense.
Yeah.
You guys have dogs. You guys have a
even
better
without Jimmy Ward.
Yeah. Who's the other guy you guys got? Greenlaw, right? Greenlaw.
Talanoa Hufanga.
Oh, my USC guy.
Yeah, watch out
for
him.
Props to my guy Tommy Huckley, USC fight on, baby. Hufanga, amazing player. I was like, does he look good because the footing's wet at Chicago and everyone else is slow too now, or is he good? But no, man, he's a dog. He was a dog.
Yeah.
I was telling, I think it was Niner Sickness that you guys have a good player into Hufanga because he's just a ball hawk. Like I'll tell you what, we'll trade Taylor Rapp right now for Hufanga. What do you think,
Not
Jay?
Impressed with Taylor Rapp? That's funny. Tommy says, "Fight on, Rudy. Let's go."
Yes, indeed. We finally have a coach, Jay. This is what we're looking for, Jay.
Riley,
This is what we're looking for. We want a USC and a Dodger and Rams triple parade.
Wow, that would be crazy.
Nah, but college don't do parades. They can't afford it. But and rest in peace, my Lakers. Oh boy.
Ooh, yeah, I don't know if they'll be winning any more championships anytime soon. The Lakers. I love LeBron, but I don't think they have enough. But we'll see. All right, so I think for the 49ers, our keys to victory, definitely we have to be much better on third down. We were terrible last week, 1 of 9. We got to be able to have sustained drives, tire out that Rams defense. And the way you do that, you got to run the ball. I think we were effective running the ball. Now, Debo, I think it's not a surprise anymore. People know, the defenses know when Debo's going to run the ball. So we're going to have to ride with Jeff Wilson Jr. Unfortunately, Elijah Mitchell, he's out for multiple weeks. So we have basically it's Debo, it's Jeff Wilson Jr., Jordan Mason. We also picked up Marlon Mack. I think those will probably be 3 out of the 4 running backs we'll use. And I think we're going to have to make Stafford pay. He's going to throw some ducks. And when he does, we have to intercept it. And we're going to have to go to the end zone because I don't know if this offense, let's just say I'm not impressed so far with this offense. Yeah. So when we get those interceptions, and I know we will, and Jimmy might throw one too because that's kind of like what he's done his career. So it's almost like who can capitalize on each other's turnovers. It's going to be a tight game. And I'll give you my score prediction, and I'll ask you what your score.
Okay, yeah.
I think the Niners will win, and it's going to be 19-16 Niners.
Woo. Okay. I have the Rams. Okay, so I'm going to give you 2 scores.
Okay.
If it's a slugfest, and both teams are playing pretty good on defense, and offenses can't get going, I can see it where it could be 17-10 Rams, or 20-17, something like that. If the Rams offense starts going and they get after Jimmy, I can see it where it's like 27-17, something like that. But we will see. I think for most part, it's going to be a slugfest. I think it's going to be probably the last 2 possessions are gonna make the difference. But Jay, let me ask you this. So give me I asked this of my guy Wayne Breezy.
Okay.
And I know, just like the Rams, there's too many of this question. Give me your Mount Rushmore, and you get 2 alternates. Your Mount Rushmore of Niner players. Like for the Rams, you got Deacon Jones, Merlin Olsen, Kurt Warner. There's too many. So just in your growing up and your favorite players, the 4 Mount Rushmore players, and then 2 alternates.
Okay, I'm going to give you 2 lists. I'm going to give you one all-time for the Niners, and then I'm going to give you one from like the 2000s and now. Okay, so the first to all times is easy. To me, it's Rice, it's Lott, it's Young, and it's Montana for me. Okay, those are the 4 all-time greats. Now, from the 2000s till now, I would go with Pat Willis, Frank Gore. Got to put Brian Young up there, and
Brian Young.
I'll put Terrell Owens.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, those would be, so that's my 4 from the 2000s, and yeah.
And let me ask you this, Jay.
Yeah.
How come nobody ever? No, maybe it's because he did so good against us because we were so worried about Jerry Rice, as you should be, when we played him. But why is John Taylor nowhere on nobody's lists?
I mean,
he was a good Batman to Robin. He was. Excuse me, Robin to Batman. I had it backwards. Right. Sorry.
Yeah, no, he was great, but I just don't think he was at the Rice. He was at the level of Jerry Rice. Granted, he probably could have been a number 1 receiver on any other team in the NFL.
Yes, he would have. Yep.
But for me,
he was all legs too. It looked like his legs went up to his shoulder.
No, I mean he was great in his time with us. But I mean Jerry Rice. I mean he's the GOAT. He's arguably the greatest football player of all time. I know some may say LT, some may say Prime, Barry Sanders, whatever. But yeah. And then for me, like when I first started watching, it was like late 90s. So I really saw Garcia, T.O. I saw like Young's last year. And for me, T.O., I wish he would have, stayed his entire NFL career with the 49ers. But to me, there's no other player exciting to watch from when I started than Terrell Owens. So he's always been one of my favorites. So
yeah, I love Terrell Owens. He was just such a pain in the ass in the locker room. Excuse my language. Yeah. But he was that guy. You can't take look at it. How old is he now? In his 40s now, and he looks like he's prime. If you look at his body, and he's still fast.
He looks like he could play right now.
I was surprised. You know what? If I'm going to tell you, Jay, if I was Les Snead, I'd be like, "Hey, Terrell, I need you to get in shape. We're gonna put you. We're gonna get OBJ's already signed. We just don't want to say nothing. Just to piss off the Niner fans. We're gonna sign you. Just be ready. We need you in game shape. It's not gonna cost nothing. And guess what? With Stafford, how would that look, Jay?
That look like it's gonna be a lot of interceptions.
No. Because Terrell Owens can still do it. Now he can get open somewhere. Look at these wide receivers that are out there. Come on now. Look at my guy. What's his name? CD Lamb. You barely you go like this, and he falls over. Good. I mean, God bless him, but but I think Terrell Owens in the right situation for a limited time in the playoffs. How they get all that rest.
Yeah.
Woo! We'll put him at tight end.
he's been gone for so long. Like it's been like what 10 years?
Yeah.
I know he played in this fan league with Johnny
Yes,
Manziel.
I saw that. I saw
yeah.
that. but not for long periods of time, but just for a play,
like maybe a few series.
6 to 8 series. Yeah. 3 in the first half, 3 in the end. But yeah, so anyway, but let me ask you one more question, Jay. On same thing with you. I'm going to say it to you this way. Besides the stars on each side, who do you think is going to be key that you look for on offense and defense that's going to help you guys win this game?
I think on defense, I would say Drake Jackson. You know him well at a SC.
Yes, USC baby.
He got his first sack last week. He could be a problem, especially when the Rams are obviously passing. I think that's when you'll see Drake Jackson. So I think he could be a problem. Hey, maybe he could have another sack in a row. But I think whoever plays that nickel corner spot on our defense, whether it be Samuel Womack, who played the position the first 2 weeks of the season, and Demo Lenore played majority of the snaps, last week. I think they're going to have a pivotal role in guarding Cooper Kupp. And I don't think we can just do it one-on-one with Kupp, which he's probably going to have to be double teamed because no one's afraid of Allen Robinson. Please, we ain't afraid of Allen Robinson over here. So Cooper Kupp is the guy you got to shut down. And that's going to be a key. Now on offense, I'll tell you this. I think we should give Jordan Mason a shot. Jeff Wilson Jr., he is the crafty veteran at the running back position, but I think we should give Jordan Mason a shot. He's an undrafted free agent. He played pretty well in preseason. He was good in training camp. I think he deserved to get some burn.
You're not the only one that says that either. Yeah.
I think he deserves to get some burn. And I don't think Ross Dwelly's playing. So I think it could maybe Charlie Warner at tight end. He's kind of like he's the best blocking tight end. So maybe we use him more often so that way we can allow Kittle to actually beat up on these Rams defenders because can't nobody guard George Kittle on the LA Rams. So those would be my guys. Those would be my guys.
And real quick back to Kyle. Why don't you guys just go I formation and have Juice in the front so he blocks whoever comes in? Let Kittle go outside if you're not going to chip him. But he can answer that. But yeah, those are good picks. It's going to be interesting, man, because we have guys on both sides of both teams that have to step up.
Yeah,
they have to step up, especially on the offensive line. You have guys that are inexperienced, but what better to have the two best teams in the NFC West with the same problems.
Yeah. Struggling offense, both offensive lines are shaky. So I think that's why I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. It's going to be a low-scoring game. I think it's going to be a turnovers. So I think it's going to be another one of those, kind of like how you said, whoever's got the ball, the last possession or the last two possessions is really going to count, and whoever can make the big plays. And I know I've seen Stafford make those big plays. Jimmy has made those big plays as well. But hopefully Jimmy can bounce back because we're going to need a much better performance from him, and no excuses. Because against Seattle it was like riding a bike, and against Denver he's like, oh, I didn't play with these guys, I didn't have to play. But
what do you think about that? Did you see? Supposedly he said these plays suck, man. Did you see that clip?
I'm not a lip reading expert. I have no idea what he said.
Oh boy, I like Jimmy with the chip on his shoulder. I like that. He's speaking up for himself. He's not just all smiles.
Well, he should tell Shanahan that. But it's funny because on that play, Debo was wide open, and he decided to throw into double coverage to IU. So I mean, he needs to accept responsibility and take blame. When Trey Lance was in there, Trey Lance said, I got to play better. I got to read the defense better. I got to make more accurate throws. Yeah. Jimmy's in there. Oh, we got to play better. Oh, we got to do this. No. You got to play better, So,
I mean, Stafford throws a pick. He says, I got to be better than that, blah, 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 blah.
Exactly.
I don't know where I agree with you.
And even if it's not you, let's say the receiver ran the wrong route. But when
that's on me.
Media, just take responsibility. And when you go back and watch film with your guys, hey, you saw zone, but it was really man. You should have ran this route or whatever. But behind closed doors, you do that. But in front of the media, just take blame. Like you are the quarterback. Like that's what the best quarterbacks do. So he definitely needs to do that. But we'll see what happens. Hopefully, you don't have to say that after the game. Hopefully, it'll be like, it'll be a victory, so you won't have to worry about that.
Well, Jay, I hope it's 17-0 by halftime, and we go in, and Stafford looks good. Allen Robinson has a couple of touchdowns.
That's not going to happen.
Akers has 70 yards running already. Hopefully, it'll be.
I'm expecting to see a lot of 3-and-outs from this 49ers defense on this Rams offense. That's what I'm expecting to see. But for those Rams fans in here right now, and for those 49er fans who want to always know what the Rams are doing, make sure you check out the Ramilia Sports Report. And what can they expect from your YouTube channel, man? What can their fans expect?
Thank you, Jay. So on my YouTube channel, yes, it's a Rams channel, like my guy Jay has the Niner channel. I go to the games. I do tailgating videos. It's also NFC West talk. If you guys come in there, I do have other teams go in there. We keep it. I know we rag each other about our teams, but we try to keep it, no personal attacks. Yeah. Just, hey, your team sucks. Okay, why? You're right. But we like to talk football. It's good to, hey, I have a question, blah, 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 blah. And you can get it right from the horse's mouth, so to speak. Like, right. Hey, Jay, type it in there. You can ask him a question. Same thing with me. So everyone's welcome to come in as the season goes on. It's going to be great. But basically it's a football, but like Jay's, it's a football channel. It's geared towards our teams, but we don't mind answering questions and hearing what other fans have to say about it. And they're always welcome, but it's just a fun time. I don't know if you guys have seen any of my intro videos. I had one about Ramsey. Ramsey's is the one from Nacho Libre. I don't know if you saw that video. Have him singing and Ramsey's is in the background. But on my show, I try to do a little different. We do highlights of the Rams, and we talk about the upcoming games, and we do football talk. But we also do some fun things like that too. And but yeah, I think a lot of people would enjoy it, even if you're not a Ram fan. You're always welcome to come in. And I'm so glad that I met my guy Jay in the Bay. He's an amazing YouTuber. Everyone hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't already. Absolutely. But for sure, hit the like. And he's a hardworking dude. And appreciate everybody, and appreciate my guy Jay for having me on today.
Hey, absolutely, man. I'm looking forward to our next collab, and yes. You yourself are a great content creator. And that's what's cool about YouTube. You get to meet different people through YouTube and StreamYard and all this good stuff. Yeah. So I'm glad to have met you through YouTube, man. That'd be cool if one day we could watch a game together and talk about each other's team. That'd be a fun thing to do, man.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I'm gonna go watch it at the sports bar for Monday night or watch it at home. I will see, but that would be fun, man. You, imagine all of us, me, you, Peo, Rams House TV, my Niner Garnal, Niner Sickness.
Yeah, that would be fun. That would be lots of fun.
49ers Ultimate Report.
Oh, yeah. Wayne Breezy, all the Niners.
Wayne Breezy.
And the Rams content creators, we should all watch the game together.
Yes.
Yeah, it would be really
Grant Cohn. It'd be like, hey, Grant, we got to talk to him about Ken Law. Ken Law's asking for you.
Absolutely, man. Well, you have a great rest of your night, man. I wish that the Rams and Niners players stay healthy the entire game and just have a competitive game, man, and duke it out on the field.
Thank you, man. So. Yes, indeed, man. God bless you, and everyone have a great night.
You, man.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Ramulators, mount up. Thank you, brother.
All right, man. And that was the Ramilia Sports Report, man. Good dude. Love to go back and forth with him about our teams. And, man, it's going to be on and popping Monday night at Levi Stadium. I can't wait for the game. Huge shout-out to everyone that was in the chat tonight. And I appreciate all the people that contributed to the stream, leaving your comments in the chat. It's always great to have a show where people feel their voices heard. And that's what the chat is all about. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe before you head on out. Let's see. So the game is on. I will be having a live stream on, Sunday night with another 49ers content creator. We're going to talk about the Rams and Niners game. And then I will have a post-game show. Not sure which channel it'll be on, but it'll be straight out of the Bay. And that'll be on Monday night right after the game. So looking forward to that. Stay safe out there. Go Niners. And, man, I can't wait till the Niners and Rams play each other. And, hey, if the Niners win, we'll be tied for first in the division. If the Rams win, I think they'll be at the top of the division. So looking forward to the game. We just got to take care of business. We definitely have to bounce back from last week. That's for sure. And everyone have a great rest of your night. Go Niners.